Welcome to the Mental Olympics. So this is going to be 5 games which you can play very simply. All you're going to need are pieces of paper, some pens and a timing device. So without further ado, game number 1 coming up. So Mental Olympics, game number 1. So this is called the memory drawing game. So however many players there are, have a picture. They've got a minute to memorise the photo, okay, or the picture. So I've just used a magazine here, and there's a lovely picture in there that I've picked out. Alright, so each team member will obviously need a piece of paper, a load of pens and crayons and pencils and colouring in pens there, and we've got a timer as well. So you've got 10 minutes. You can always make it a bit more if you want, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. So actually try and recreate the picture from memory after having had a look at it for a minute and see who can get the closest picture to resembling that after 10 minutes of drawing, or 12 minutes or 15. Okay, good luck. So here we go. I've got 1 minute to look at this picture and try and memorise it, and then I'm going to have 10 minutes using the stopwatch to try and do the best recreation of that picture I can. So here we go, 10 minutes, and I've managed to come up with this. So let's have a look how closely I remember. I was quite pleased. Look, I even remembered the little washing line over here. That wasn't bad. Okay, let's have a look. There's the picture. Well, I've got the rocks up here. The house is roughly in the right place. There's the sky. There's the hillside. Could have maybe had a bit more detail with bushes. I forgot the rocks over here. Needed something there. There's a washing line. Look, there he is. I even remembered a couple of people. I think, yeah, 2 people there, but actually they should have been over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats, but not necessarily in the right pattern. But anyway, not too bad. Here's all my kind of. I thought there was a bit of water. Obviously not. All right, but here's my beach with the big rocks or pebbles here. I got the 3 barrels, but in the wrong place. And these outbuildings here maybe could have been a bit bigger. Here's my path, which actually I've imagined stretching up, but it didn't. It just ran along to this house here. I think I've got the number of windows right, but not necessarily in the right place. Oh, but this bit's not bad. And a blue door, that's pretty good. But I got a door here when the door doesn't appear, and I forgot this bit of the balcony around there. But hey, not bad. Maybe 6 out of 10. Okay, so game number 2 in the Mental Olympics is called the concentration grid. So if you go online, you can download a concentration grid template, and some of them go from 1 to 100. This one goes from 1 to 117, so a few more numbers, so it's a little bit harder to navigate your way through. Essentially, the idea is someone will shout out a number, say number 25, and you've got a minute, or you can make it 90 seconds or 2 minutes, to then work your way up, find that number and work your way up the grid from number 25 as far as you can go until the time elapses. So for example, I'll find number 25, and then by the time runs out, I might have got to something like 35 or 37, maybe, if I'm really good, over 40. Alright, so we're going to put that to the test now. So my cameraman Ewan is going to shout out a number. You're not allowed to use a pen, by the way, to mark where you are. You've just got to use your mind and navigate your way around, so you've got to remember where you are and look where you're going. And obviously it's based on trust and no cheating. Okay, so Ewan's going to shout a number out, and then I'm going to start the stopwatch, and I'm going to give myself 60 seconds to get as far up the grid as I can. All right, are we ready? Ready, steady, go.
83.
83, so I've started the stopwatch. I've got to follow. Oh, time up. So in a minute I went from 83 on the grid, if I can remember where I found 83. Seems that there we are, number 83. All right, and in a minute I worked my way up, found 84 and ended up at number 93 down here. Okay, so strategies, the more you get used to it, you scan across. You might use a scanning in terms of going down 2 columns at a time or 2 columns across. You're really clever and you can look at 3 columns or 3 rows at the same time. Sorry, 3 rows, 3 columns. All right, so lots of different strategies you can employ the more you get used to working your way through the grid. And of course, this has got lots of different applications. Think of the athlete who's got to try and be focused on their game and avoid any distractions, for example from the crowd or other noises or distractions. Say for example a tennis player on court, it's got to be fully focused on the rally at hand and his serving technique. So any distractions will undermine his performance, his or her performance. So concentration grids have a wide range of applications. Game number 3. The A to Z. All right, very simply, each person in the team or in the competition gets a list of A to Z. Okay, so you can quickly sketch these out, and someone will shout out a theme. So it could be towns and cities across the world, or towns and cities in the UK. It could be animals, it could be films, all right, it could be nursery rhymes, all sorts of different things. All right, anything that is a topic, and you can then over the course of the next 10 minutes try and fill out A to Z for that particular topic. All right, so Ewan's going to shout out a topic at random for me to do, and I'll have 10 minutes on the stopwatch, all right, to try and fill the grid in as quick as I can. So what you can do is, if say you've got 3 or 4 players, the first one to fill it in can shout completed, all right, and then at the end, after the time limit of 10 minutes, then you see how everyone else has got on, and then the person who's claimed to have finished the first has to read theirs out, and if everyone agrees that they've done it really well and they've got everything accurate, then they would be declared the winner. If it's a topic where it's really hard to find, for example, an X or a Z, you can declare, you can announce, right, I've got 24 out of 26, and declare at a certain time. And again, the same test would apply. Have they got those 24 correct? Okay, and if everyone agrees and they've got the most at 24, then they're declared the winner. All right, so here we go. Ewan's going to shout out a topic. I've got 10 minutes.
Animals.
Animals, right, off I go. Well, not bad. Got a bit stuck with U and with X, so I can't think of anything for X. So I've declared at 25. I've cheated a little bit because I've put a mythical creature in, unicorn. So it's up to the group whether they allow unicorn or not. All right, so 25 I've declared on, but I might only get 24 points. Now, just for interest, there is apparently something called a unicorn fish we've looked up afterwards, so I wasn't far off, so maybe 24.5 points. Game number 4. So if you've watched Countdown, you'll know that they do a numbers game. So the idea is you have a grid like that, so big numbers along the top, 6 big numbers, 100, 75, 50, 25, 15 and 10. And along the bottom, numbers from 1 to 9. Alright, so my cameraman's going to give me 3 numbers from the top and 3 numbers from the bottom line. It doesn't have to be 3 from the top and 3 from the bottom. You can choose any combination you want for this particular game, but it's always quite good to throw in at least 2 from the top line.
Okay, so the 3 numbers from the top are 75, 50 and 25.
75, 50 and 25.
And the small numbers are 9, 5 and 7.
9, 7, 5. So he's given me that combination. I've got 30 seconds. He's going to shout out a number to me, and that's what I've got to get in 30 seconds.
582.
582, off we go. 582. Alright, so I've 2 seconds to go. 9 times 50, 450. 5 times 25, that's 125. Add those two together, 575. And add on the 7, 582. Alright, the last game is a very traditional game. It's called Hangman. You've probably all played this before, but just in case you haven't, very simply, you have a theme. For example, we've chosen a theme of sport. And you can have 1 word, or 2 words, or maybe 3 words as part of the thing that you've got to guess. Each time you get a letter right, then you save a part of the body or part of the scaffold being created. But each time you get a letter wrong, the scaffold starts getting built, and with each successive answer you get wrong, okay, in terms of letters you're guessing, then the body starts to appear. So once the scaffold's been built and the body's been hung, then that's the end of the game, and you've lost if you haven't guessed what the word or words are. Alright, so in this particular case, we've got 2 words, something connected with sport, and so, for example, my cameraman's going to come over and film me and show you how this works in practice. Alright, so someone shouts out a letter, say the letter P. That doesn't feature in this, these 2 words. So we start to build the scaffold. Alright, so then they shout out the letter C. Ah, yes, that is in it. So you try and remember where that is. And that's a life save. And they shout out another letter, S. Not there. Okay, another part of the scaffold's been built. They shout out the letter X. Nope, another bit of a scaffold built. They shout out the letter H. Ah, that's in there, yep. They shout out the letter N. N for nest. Another bit of a scaffold. They shout out the letter O. Bit more of a scaffold being built. They shout out the letter B. Uh-oh, got the head starting to appear. They shout out the letter A. Ah. Getting somewhere now. They shout out I. They shout out E. We're getting nearer now. I think people might be starting to guess. Alright, now they shout out R. I think they can guess the first word. Alright, so in this case, people guessed without having to keep guessing the letters. Archery target was the answer. incorrectly. We might have been having more parts to the body, and then you'd have lost if you hadn't guessed it by then.